A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Lao Tzu. My friends, that first step is to commit yourself daily. Say, for every day, for the rest of my life, or as long as I want to make money in the market, I am going to commit myself to 10 to 15 minutes each and every day, no matter what. I do it. If I can do it in my busy schedule and do all of this training for you in addition to all of my trading and all of my other work and my family and life's demands, you can do it. You can do it. It's just where you put your priorities. And again, you just have to start and you just have to keep up with it. Don't worry how long it takes, because my friends, when you master these charts, you will make up for all the time you ever spent. So don't worry about how long it takes. Worry about when you're going to start and stay committed. You do that, you'll do this. Let's jump into these charts. As I look at things with the market about 4 minutes to go, everything is up for the day. And Bitcoin, it's a booming again. Let's jump into the S&P 500 up just over 0.5%. Now we look at the high last week. It was 513.29. This week, we are up to 514.20, so we are getting a bit of a higher high. We're halfway through the week. We're over halfway through the weekend. We're not halfway up to average volume, so we'll see where that goes. We can see on the 2-day chart, we're just hanging above the weekly trend line. Same on the half day. We had touched it back in the afternoon on Tuesday and then moved away from it on Wednesday morning, stayed away from it Wednesday afternoon. So still long on the S&P. What about the NASDAQ 100? It's up for the day 0.67%. We're above on the 2-day. We've got a doji that's forming, first day of the latest 2-day candle on the 2-day chart. And again, just the first day, but as we look at things, we'll stretch this out a little bit. Yeah, we've got quite a doji forming there. And again, we're about not quite halfway to the average volume. Still got one more day to draw. And of course, we are still long on the NASDAQ 100. Last week's high, 446.58. This week, 446.04. So, we're about, 54 cents off where we were last week. So we'll continue to keep an eye on things. Still long the NASDAQ 100. What about 20-year bonds? They're up for the day a little over 0.5%. And of course, we've got a fairly flat trend line. Doesn't do a lot for us. We don't have any good, strong volume anywhere on this to lead us in a direction. We look at this weekly chart. Last time we had higher than average volume was all the way back on the week beginning the 29th of January, where things perked up. We had a small candle, little wick on the bottom, long wick on the top, high volume, and then things keeled over. Last week, we had a doji with hardly any ranging at all. And this week, we have a green candle, a small one with a wick about the same size, maybe a little bit longer on top. And again, volume not halfway up to average. We look at the 2-day, we can see how volume has been decreasing. Have a decent candle that's formed so far on this latest 2-day. It's just the first day of the latest 2-day. Last 2 days, things have moved up. So again, we're just watching belatedly. Bonds are trying to move up. But again, nothing strong sending us a big picture as we saw when bonds turned around before. See, take a look at this. This is just sort of what you want to see. Saw bonds where they came down. We had things reach that interim low with higher than average volume, then turned around with a green spinning top, shot up from there. That's beautiful. This is not. So what do? You don't have to trade the same chart every single time things change. What we want to do is we want to find these patterns that work over and over again, where you have strong indications of markets either bottoming or peaking. But you might say, okay, well, if it's going down, why would I ever get into a down? Well, the reason is because most of these funds that we track they actually have inverse funds, which are great to practice trade the down moves. Okay, let's leave bonds, go to gold. Gold is one that doesn't have a good inverse fund. It's too illiquid, but gold, you don't have to worry about that right now. Gold is a booming, up again for the day, 0.82%. Look at this week. This week started at 189 and the high 199.30. And again, up for the day, up in the morning, further up in the afternoon. Again, the 2 days beautiful, almost up to average in just the first day of the latest 2-day candle. Above average in the morning on the half day, average in the afternoon. We're almost up to average just 3 days into a 5-day candle. So gold is booming. Now we told you, gold started off again, no big help from the indicators here. We had just below average volume when it hit the low. We'd rather see, again, like we saw back here when gold turned around, where it peaked down. I hate these center things. But anyway, where things peaked down, and you can see we captured that down move there. And then, of course, gold turned around with a nice spinning top, took off, headed up, gave us another opportunity, then sort of slowed down on the vine, and then started getting, again, a bit sloppy for us on this down sideways move. And then, of course, where it's peaking up here, not giving us a lot to look for, although we did encourage you to pay attention to what's going on with G, D, X. Why? Well, it's the gold miners stocks, and it's in its first week of what could potentially be a rally. You've seen it rallying since last Thursday on the half day, and the same on the 2 days. So we'll see as things move forward if gold is really going to take off for a while or not. But of course, looking good today, is it not? Now let's go to Bitcoin. We'll first go to the Bitcoin ETF. Again, we don't have any average volume here because it's not been around long enough to give us that. But man, we can see things booming from the opening around $60.54 a share of this ETF to a high of $78.59. Now we go to 24-hour a day Bitcoin, and of course you can see where Bitcoin had hammered down starting on Monday in the evening. This 24-hour a day Bitcoin hit its low Tuesday, yesterday afternoon, on that 230 195-minute chart. And then after we got past the 7 o'clock one, starting in the evening, Bitcoin really started to rallied throughout the day. Now, right now, 24-hour day Bitcoin is up 4.83%, whereas the ETF, which is what we practice trade, is up a whopping 8.30%. So again, things are beautiful. Can't wait till we get enough of these candles to be able to give us average volume here. We have it on the half day, getting closer and closer. Got to have 20 before we can get it on the 2 day. And then, of course, 20 weeks. That's 40 days here, 20 weeks here, so we can get it on the weekly. But we'll just continue in the meantime to sort of use and superimpose as we can, using what we see here on the 24-hour a day Bitcoin chart along with HODL, which is a replacement for XBTF, our former VanEck Bitcoin Trust. That is where we are. Bitcoin is just ramping up. It's beautiful to see. We are, of course, still long on Bitcoin. That is where we are, folks, as we end the day. Hope that you're practice trading with us each and every day. We don't give market advice. We are an education firm. We want you to practice trade with us. Learn how to do this by doing this. And again, it doesn't cost you anything to practice trade if you're smart. If you're a dummy and you're out there gambling, which is what you're doing as you're learning, the market is really good at taking everything you have and more. So don't be the fool. Remember, all those beautiful hotels in Vegas are built by the fools. And of course, you don't want to be building anything for anyone who's taking your money in the stock market. You want to learn how this works so that when you do start really trading, you know what you're doing. You know how to enter trades, exit trades. You know how to read charts. You know how to do things like cut your risk, deal with volatility, all those things that we teach here. If you're not a Patreon member, support us, please. We would ask you to consider doing that. You can follow a link in the show notes. First thing we'll send you, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way, a 3-part series you will get a great deal out of. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth, World Headquarters,